Hello and welcome. My name is Robin and I'm a storyteller. Today I'm going to be telling you 2 stories and also playing a silly game with you as well. Now, if you like, you can watch the whole video all the way through in one sitting. You can do that. Or you could just watch the first story, pause the video, go make yourself a cup of tea, grab a biscuit, whatever you want, and then come back, watch a bit more. You can do whatever you want. Right, let's get started.
Let's get started!
And we're going to start off today with a story. This story is called The Unluckiest Man in the World. And it's got a sing-along song in it. So feel free to sing along at the top of your voice. Yeah? Really annoy the neighbours. Okay, here we go. I hope you enjoy it. Once upon a time, there was a man, and he thought that he was the unluckiest man in the whole wide world. If anything bad ever happened, it always seemed to happen to him. So one day he decided to do something about it. He decided to climb all the way to the top of Cloud Mountain, because he knew that at the top lived a wise old woman. And if anyone could tell him why he was always so unlucky, it was the wise old woman. So he set off. He travelled far and he travelled wide. And as he travelled, he sang a song. And the song he sang sounded like this. I'm so unlucky, unlucky as can be. I'm so unlucky, there's no luck for me. Hey! And the day came when he reached the bottom of Cloud Mountain.
He saw a path wending its way up through the trees, and he followed it. After a while, he heard some growling.
He would have felt really afraid had the growling not been followed by a wheezing and then a coughing. And out onto the path stepped a wolf.
But it was a rather bedraggled, shabby creature, whose ribs could be seen clearly through his fur.
"Who are you, and why are you in my woods?" asked the wolf.
I'm the unluckiest man in the whole wide world, said the man. If something bad ever happens, it always happens to me. But I'm on a quest, you see. I'm going to climb to the very top of Cloud Mountain to see the wise old woman that lives there. Because if anyone can tell me why I'm always so unlucky, it's her.
"Oh, I say," said the wolf. "Do you think you could ask her a question for me too, please?"
What would you like to know?
"Could you ask her why I'm not strong, like all the other wolves? I'm always weak and tired, and my ribs are always sticking out."
Of course I will, said the man, and he set off to continue his quest. And as he walked, he sang his travelling song, which goes something like this. I'm so unlucky, unlucky as can be. I'm so unlucky, there's no luck for me. And he sang it a second time, so you could all join in. Remember to shout, hey, really loudly at home. I'm so unlucky, unlucky as can be. I'm so unlucky, there's no luck for me. Eventually he came upon a beautiful little stream trickling down the mountainside. So he drank some water to quench his thirst, and then he had a little sit under a tree for a rest.
It was a rather feeble-looking tree, stunted and small, with very few leaves upon it. To his surprise, the tree spoke to him.
Who are you? And why are you by my stream?
Oh, me? I'm the unluckiest man in the whole wide world. If anything bad ever happens, it always happens to me. Oh, yes. But I'm on a quest. I am going to the very top of Cloud Mountain to see the wise old woman that lives there. Because if anyone can tell me why I'm so unlucky, it's her.
Oh, I say,
said the tree, its little branches shivering with excitement.
Do you think you could ask her a question for me too, please?
What would you like to know?
Could you ask her why I'm not tall, like all the other trees? I never get any bigger, and my leaves never seem to grow.
Of course I will, said the young man. I would be glad to. And he set off up the mountain again, and he climbed, and he climbed, and he climbed, and as he climbed, he sang his favourite travelling song, which goes like this. I'm so unlucky, unlucky as can be. I'm so unlucky, there's no luck for me. Hey!
Well, now he was so high up the mountain he was among the clouds. And then the mists parted and he could see the outline of a house. It was a beautiful little cottage, it was, with white walls and a thatched roof and roses over the door. Absolutely gorgeous. It was so lovely, he just had to stop and knock on the door. When the door opened, he found himself face to face with a young lady, and she seemed very pleased to see him. "Are you a visitor?" she asked.
"Why, yes, I am," replied the man.
"Oh, come in, she said excitedly.
And so he did.
"I haven't seen anyone for so long. I'm a bit out the way up here, aren't I? Would you like something to eat or drink?"
"Oh, yes, I would," said the young man, and he went in, and they had something to eat and drink, and they chatted like they'd known each other for years. They got on like a house on fire. They really did. And the young man told the young lady all about his quest to climb to the very top of Cloud Mountain to see the wise old woman and ask her why he was always so unlucky all the time.
"Oh, I say," said the lady, "do you think you could ask her a question for me too, please?"
"What would you like to know?"
"Could you ask her why I'm so unhappy all the time? You know, I live in this beautiful house. It's in a gorgeous part of the world. The views are amazing, but I just always feel so sad."
"Of course I will," said the young man, and he waved bye-bye and he set off to continue his quest. Up Cloud Mountain he went. He was nearly at the top, and as he climbed up and up, he sang his favourite travelling song, and it goes like this. "I'm so unlucky, unlucky as can be. I'm so unlucky, there's no luck for me. Hey!" Eventually, he got to the very top of Cloud Mountain, and there he saw
A cave with a fire burning just inside the entrance. He entered the cave, and he saw in the gloom an old woman sat in a rocking chair. This must be the wise old woman.
I know why you're here.
said the old woman.
You want to know why you're so unlucky.
Well, the man nodded. Yeah.
Well,
said the wise old woman.
the thing is, you're not.
Well, the man looked confused.
Everybody has good luck and everybody has bad luck.
The wise old woman continued.
The thing with you is, you only see the bad luck. You don't recognise good luck when it's right in front of your face.
Oh, said the young man. So what you're saying is that I just need to recognise good luck when it's right in front of me?
Correct,
said the wise old woman. The young man thanked the wise old woman for her great advice, and he was just about to go when he remembered he hadn't asked the tree's question or the young lady's question or the wolf's question. So he did, and he sat down and he listened really carefully to the wise old woman's answers. And then he thanked her again and he went back down Cloud Mountain, a big smile on his face. Oh, he felt so much better. He felt so much better that he sang a new song, very, very different song to the previous one, and it goes like this. I am so lucky, lucky as can be. I am so lucky, luck is there for me. Join in the new song with me and remember to do the big hey at the end. Here we go. You ready? I am so lucky, lucky as can be. I am so lucky, luck is there for me. Hey!
Eventually he got back to the pretty little cottage, and he knocked on the door again. "Oh, hi," said the young lady, smiling at him. "Did you find out why you were so unlucky?"
Yes, I did, said the young man. All I have to do, apparently, is recognise good luck when it's right in front of my face.
"Oh, well, that's great," replied the young lady. I don't suppose you asked him my question, did you?"
I did, replied the young man. Apparently you're sad because you're lonely. You know, what you need is a friend, someone that you really hit it off with.
The young lady thought for a moment, and then quite shyly she asked the man, "I don't suppose you'd be my friend, would you?"
Oh, no, said the young man. I haven't got time to be making friends with people. I've got to go and find my luck, haven't I? Anyway, bye-bye to the young lady, and he set off back down Cloud Mountain, big smile on his face, and as he walked he sang his song. I am so lucky, lucky as can be. I am so lucky, lucky's there for me. Hey! Eventually he worked his way back down to the beautiful little stream and the very sick-looking tree.
"Oh, hi," said the tree. "Did you find out why you were so unlucky?"
Yes, I did, replied the young man. Apparently all I've got to do is recognise good luck when it's right in front of my face.
"Oh, that's great," replied the tree. "But I don't suppose you asked my question, did you?"
I did, replied the young man. Apparently you're not able to grow properly because your roots are being blocked.
"With what?"
With treasure.
Apparently a thief buried his gold and his silver and all of his jewels under the ground here many years ago. He never came back for it, and it's stopping your roots from growing. The tree thought for a moment, and then it asked if the man might dig out the treasure.
"You can keep it," said the tree. "I have no need for treasure."
Oh no, said the young man. I haven't got time to go around digging things up. I've got to go and find my luck, haven't I? And he set off back down the mountain. And as he went, he sang his favourite travelling song, his new one, and it goes like this. I am so lucky, lucky as can be. I am so lucky, luck is there for me. Sausage. Hey. Eventually the young man found himself almost at the bottom of the mountain, back in the woods again, and there, by the side of the path, was the wolf.
"Oh, hi," said the wolf. "Did you find out why you were always so unlucky?"
Yes, I did, replied the young man. Apparently, I've just got to recognise good luck when it's right in front of my face.
"Oh, that's great," replied the wolf. I don't suppose you asked my question, did you?"
Yes, I did, replied the young man. Apparently you're so thin and you feel poorly all the time because you're not eating enough.
"So what should I do?"
Yes, what was it? Yes, she said that you should eat the first silly person that crosses your path. And so it did. The end. What a silly man. You'll never catch me being silly like that. Well, I hope you enjoyed my story. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. So there you go. That was the first story over with. I hope you enjoyed it. You may have noticed that I had a bit of a haircut in between telling the story and doing this bit. Now, I think it's time for a game.
Game time!
And this is how you play the game. First of all, I want you all up on your feet. Come on, everybody at home, up on your feet. That's it. Come on, up on your feet. Come on. Chop, chop. Right, good. Grown-ups too. Come on, I see you sitting at home. Come on, up on your feet. That's it. Brilliant. Right, now, these are the rules. I will shout out the name of a bean. And when I do, you have to do a silly action to go with the name of the bean. For example, if I shout out jumping beans, I want everyone at home to jump up in the air. Let's have a practice.
Jumping bean!
Good jumping, everybody. Now, the next bean is a jelly bean, right? Whenever I shout out jelly bean, I want everyone at home to wobble like that, like a jelly. Okay? Let's have a practice.
Jelly bean!
One more. If I shout out baked bean, I want everyone at home to blow out a big raspberry like this. Okay? Should we have a practice? Here we go.
Baked bean!
Brilliant. So I think we're ready now to play beans.
Jumping bean! Jelly bean! Jumping bean! Baked bean! Jelly bean!
I'm I'm out of breath after all that. Right, I'm going to make the game a bit more complicated now. I'm going to introduce 3 new types of bean. The first new type of bean is a runner bean. If I shout runner bean, I want everyone at home to run up and down like that. And if I shout string bean, I want everyone to make themselves as long and as thin as possible, like a piece of string, like that. And if I shout French bean, I want you all to go bonjour, like that, and wave, because that's French for hello. Bonjour, like that. So we've got runner bean, string bean, and French bean. Let's have a practice.
Runner bean. String bean. French bean.
Bonjour! Whew. Now, for the final round of the game, we're going to combine all 6 types of bean. So first of all, let's try and remember them. We've got jumping beans, jelly beans, baked beans, and we've got runner beans, string beans, and French beans. You ready? Let's play!
Runner bean. Jumping bean. Jelly bean. Jumping bean. Baked bean. String bean. French bean.
Bonjour!
Runner bean. French bean.
Bonjour!
Baked bean. Jelly bean. Baked bean. French bean.
Bonjour! What a very silly game that was. Right. What should we do next?
Let's have another story.
Well, if you insist. The next story is called Lazy Jack. I hope you enjoy it. Once upon a time, there was a young man called Jack, and he lived with his mother in a little house in a little village, and he did little work. He was so lazy. People used to call him Lazy Jack. And it wasn't as if he and his mother had much money either. And the house was in a right state. The roof leaked in the rain. There were holes in the walls. Mice everywhere. The front door was hanging off its hinges.
All day long his poor mother would wash and dry clothes, cook the meals and clean the house. She would do all the housework, while Jack would either be sitting in the sun or, if the weather was cold, resting by the fire.
Lazy boy. One day, his mother had had enough. "If you don't start pulling your weight, young man, I'll throw you out of the house. And then where will you be?" "Well, what do you want me to do?" asked Jack. "Get out there and find yourself a job. Make yourself useful," his mother replied. So, the next day, Monday morning, Jack set off to get a job. And he happened to find a day's work at a local farm. And the farmer asked him to help harvest the crops. And at the end of the day, the farmer gave Jack a penny.
Jack had never earned money from working before, and he was very pleased. And smiling to himself, he set off for home.
But as he was crossing a stream on the stepping stones, he slipped. Whoops! And the penny fell into the stream. Whoop! And was lost forever. Uh-oh. When he got home, he told his mum what had happened. "You silly boy," his mother shouted at him. "You should have put it in your pocket." "Oh," said Jack. "Put it in my pocket. I'll do that next time." So on Tuesday morning, Jack set off to find another job. And this time, he got a day's work on a strawberry farm. He was asked to help pick the fruit. And at the end of the day, the farmer gave him a basket of strawberries as payment. Well, Jack had never been given strawberries before. He was really pleased.
He immediately put all the strawberries from the basket into his pockets and, smiling to himself, set off for home.
But on the way home, all the strawberries got squished in his pocket. He made a right mess of his shirt. Uh-oh. When he got home, he told his mum what had happened.
You silly boy, you should have carried them on your head,
his mother shouted. Oh, said Jack. Carry it on my head. I'll do that next time. On Wednesday morning, Jack set off to find another job, and he happened to get a day's work with a cheesemaker. He was asked to help make the cheese.
At the end of the day, the cheesemaker gave him some cheese as payment. He immediately stuck the cheese on top of his head and, smiling to himself, set off for home.
But it was a very, very hot day that day, and all the cheese melted all the way down Jack's face, got matted in his hair. Uh-oh. And when he got home, he told his mum what had happened.
You silly boy, you should have carried it carefully in your hands.
Oh, said Jack. Carry it carefully in my hands. I'll do that next time. On Thursday morning, Jack set off to find another job. And this time he got a day's work on a chicken farm, and he was asked to help collecting all the eggs. At the end of the day, the chicken farmer gave him his very own chicken, so he could have some eggs at home.
Jack had never been given a chicken before. He was very pleased. He immediately picked up that chicken carefully in his hands and, smiling to himself, set off for home.
His journey home started off okay, but soon the chicken got bored of being carried and it started to struggle. Jack said, "No, chicken, stop struggling."
But the chicken pecked and clucked and scratched.
And by the time Jack got home, he looked very worse for wear. Uh-oh. He told his mother what had happened.
You silly boy, you should have tied a string around it and let it walk behind you.
Oh, said Jack. Right, I'll do that next time. On Friday morning, Jack set off to find another job, and this time he got a day's work at a butcher's. Yeah, he was asked to sell things in the shop. And as payment, the butcher gave him at the end of the day a string of sausages.
Jack had never been given sausages before. He was very pleased. He tied some string around them and put them on the floor.
"Come on, sausages,"
said Jack, but the sausages didn't move. He jerked the string. The sausages still didn't move.
"I'll have to drag you then,"
said Jack, and so he did. Smiling to himself, he set off for home, dragging the sausages behind him.
All the way home he went, dragging those sausages behind him, through the dirt and the mud and the mess that the cows had left behind on the road.
At one point, the sausages got caught around a rock and poor Jack fell over.
Uh-oh. When he got home, he told his mum all that had happened.
Oh, you silly boy,
his mother shouted.
You should have carried them around your neck.
Oh, carry it across my shoulders. I'll do that next time. On Saturday morning, Jack set off to find another job, and this time he got a day's work on a dairy farm. He was asked to help milk the cows. And at the end of the day, the lady who owned the farm gave him a cow as payment.
Jack had never been given a cow before. He was very pleased.
You can see where this is going, can't you?
He immediately picked up the cow and carried it across his shoulders. Smiling to himself, Jack set off for home.
Oh, it was heavy. Now, as it happened, on his way home, Jack passed a very, very fine house indeed.
A wealthy young lady lived there, all alone. She had no friends, no family, and she was so sad that she hadn't smiled in years, let alone laughed.
She was looking out of a window, as she always did at that time of day, just staring off into the distance, when she saw Jack walking along the road.
Oh,
she thought,
it's that young man that passes here every day.
In the past week, she'd seen Jack walk by with cheese melted all over his head, strawberries squashed in his pocket, dragging sausages through all the mud and the cow pats, and on another day, carrying a chicken that was attacking his face, all without raising a smile to her lips.
Today, though, she saw Jack walking along, struggling to keep his legs from buckling, with a cow over his shoulders. The cow was on its back, its 4 legs stuck up in the air. She started to smile. Then she started to grin. And finally she started laughing. For the first time in years. Real belly laughs.
She opened her front door. "Excuse me,"
she said. Jack stopped. "What's your name?"
"Jack," said Jack.
Would you like to come in for some tea?
Ooh, yes, please, replied Jack, and he put the cow down and he went inside the house. And to cut a long story short, he and the young lady got on so well that sometime later they both got married to each other. And Jack and his mum, they moved out of the little house and into the big fine house, and his mum was so proud of him. And Jack was never lazy ever again. And he and the young lady lived happily ever after, and they made each other laugh till the end of their days. The end. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening, taking part, singing along, joining in. Take care of each other, won't you? And keep reading all those books. And I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.